Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oh my goodness, it's been absolutely crazy these past few weeks. I've been moving around, and so the move is now official. Within the last week, it's been a total transit period for me. So thank you so very much for your patience with these readings, these early November readings. And all of you who supported the mid-October readings, thank you so very much for your gracious support. And I was so happy to see you guys there. All right, so there are a few announcements here as it pertains to the mid-November readings. I'll be having it same kind of protocol for this month for the mid-November 15th to the 30th readings. And I've changed a few things, okay, to help the process move forward a bit more seamlessly tech-wise. And so for one, okay, they are now available to reserve on the website, alchemynew.com, link in the bio description below. The way that it'll work, okay, is when you order in the email that comes through to you via Alchemy New, so the Alchemy New confirmation order will be a chat link. Okay, so if you have any questions about the tech side of receiving access, okay, then you can chat via that chat link, okay, and it'll come directly to me, so I'll address it right then and there, so that there's no missing emails and so on and so forth. Okay, another note: if you want to reach out via email, please email directly to alchemynew@gmail.com, as if there's a response or direct response to the email that has been sent out via the Alchemy New confirmation email, it doesn't come through, okay? So I realized that, the last month, and so now it's clear that the emails need to come directly, okay, in a brand new email. So if you choose to reach out via email directly, then you can do it that way. Okay. Any other announcements? Okay, so the mid-November readings are going to be delivered on November 11th. Okay, so I'm thinking of doing it right on just a few days prior to the 15th, whenever they will be available during the month. And so if you order them any point until the 11th, know that they'll be delivered via email to you on, or perhaps even a few days before the 11th. All right. And any more announcements here? Let's see. Yes. Okay. The emails will be sent to is that which is linked to the account that you pay with. So if you're paying via PayPal, then it's your PayPal email address. So check that email address when seeking for that confirmation email to come through. And please also check your spam, just in case it goes to spam. Okay, thank you all so very much. I'm so excited to get these early November readings to you. They're beautiful. Transformations abound for us all here. And remember, we are every sign. So, right, it's a matter of how and what propensity it aligns with your particular chart. And thank you all so much again for your love, your light, your support on this journey forward. And I'll talk to you soon. Hi there, Pisces. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is your early November reading. Of course, energy is fluid, so it may permeate a little before the 1st, a little after the 15th. Without further ado, Pisces, let's get right into it now. Okay, I was meditating on your energy before I turned on the camera, and I was hearing for you breaking out of the box, brandishing the wand. Okay, now there is a point of passion, of vision, of transforming completely how it is that we strategize forward matters of creativity, matters of manifestation. Okay, and there's a There's a question of a new beginning with that. There's a question of how exactly, okay, to take this strike. And I've been getting this feeling for you for quite a number of readings now, right? This sort of shifting in paradigm. Now, let's flip these cards over here. Okay, you've got the Moon. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, head to head, the Wheel of Fortune and the Moon, both major arcana. The Magician, major arcana, you have the Six of Wands upright, overlaying the Eight of Pentacles upright, overlaying the Nine of Cups in reverse. Okay, right at the base here. And I had just, these cards had popped out in this fashion as I was meditating on your energy. Okay, so there is a point of there being a point, okay, in the process of creation where you realize I can't focus on what comes of what I create. That's not my point. My point is there being no point about what I'm creating in a certain way. It's a matter of understanding how I fit in what I create, how I am what I create, how that vision serves as my direction. I'm hearing my guiding force. The process of questioning what I align with, what I know I see. Okay, the process of trying to see what I see only strains the eye, I'm hearing, only strains the eye. And there is a focus for you, and I'm hearing Aries, okay, on Pisces, on how we move through and how we have moved through the process of experiencing transformation, how we move from the past into the current state, into the future as we perceive it in human form. And Pisces, you get this delineation between matter and energetic vitality so much, right? Ruling the 12th house, transcendence, right? Ruled by Neptune, resembling the sort of blurring of lines, right? Where there is no sort of dimension, because we are experiencing, we are aware of, I'm hearing the comprehensiveness of our existence, right? You, that's your terrain, Pisces, especially if you have a lot of Pisces in your chart, right? Of course, so many elements go into play, right, with the chart, but I'm hearing that's classic for you. Moving through dimensions of understanding how you're moving, feeling that you're moving in so many ways. I'm hearing there is an underpinning, okay, of a question that you realize shouldn't be a process that's questioned. Because the form that I take on in these varying dimensions is only a reflection. And if I question how I reflect, I'm hearing who I am and what I see, am I really seeing it at that point? I'm hearing, how am I seeing it? So there's a question of vision. There's a question of how do I serve as just a sort of mirror for myself to speak through me, where I'm hearing my mind, my intellectual rational mind is not getting involved, where there's no, I'm hearing boundary to what I allow to flow from me. back into me, okay, as a sort of state of resonance. Okay, and what I'm envisioning is sound bouncing off cave walls, okay, almost like an echolocation. And it's like, Pisces, you realize I'm standing in this room. I'm hearing, I get that. I'm standing. I'm existing. I'm hearing an origin point. But I emanate. And it's how I exist. I'm hearing in shifting moments. And it's my interaction with myself in these moments, in every moment, that comprises how I accept what I'm experiencing. And who I am is a reflection of what I desire. And the point at which I no longer question that process of reflecting, acknowledging what it is that drives me, where I don't need to define it. Okay, it just is. And I allow it, to just come with, to be my means and my method, to be my guiding force, where I'm not, needing a safety net. Right? Before I take this step, well, what does this mean in terms of, if and or but, okay, sort of a situation, the add-on. How does what I create take form in varying, shifting modalities? Okay, so it's a question for you, Pisces, of, right, the question may be, well, okay, I desire this right now, but how does this momentary desire transform, interact with, my future self? Okay, and I'm getting though that it's a highly mutable nature, right? So I'm not getting that it's like only 10 years ahead. What is this desire going to mean? It's like tomorrow, okay, in a few hours. I'm right now. I'm hearing. I feel like I think that I'm hearing. I want a sandwich, but I'm hearing 10 minutes down the line. Am I going to question why I thought I wanted that? Okay, and I'm getting this pulsating, this pressure on my ring finger on my left hand. For a number of you, right, there may be this recognition that there's a lot to what we want. Okay, it's not, it's not just square. It's not just, it's not fair and square. It's not form that has shape. What I create, is mutable. What I desire, becomes what I create. Very interesting. How do I connect with my future self in every state of awareness, of being? Where, yet again, I'm not questioning my change. Where I'm just flowing, with my invariable, variable truth, where who I am just resides, where who I am in every moment is my barometer. For creation. And yes, there is a question of why. Why do I want what I want? Why do I not want what I don't want? Why do I not want what I want? In every moment. Why does it all sort of exist as a transformation of desire? So what you're working with, Pisces, is the delineation of cause, okay? And how what you create is connected to, I'm hearing, your character of being. And how far, I'm hearing, you're willing to go to accept the many shapes and the many forms that you exist in. Even if it's cyclical, right? Even if, let's say, one day you're like, well, that's not me. Okay. And the next day you're like, I don't even recognize who yesterday I'm hearing I didn't connect with. Okay, I'm hearing I didn't connect with. What calls me? I realize we'll always be in a state of change. And how I move with that, how I am fluid with my own fluidity, where I'm moving through my own cycles of being, right? It's like this, Pisces. It's like, you know, out at sea, okay? Out at sea, right? A bit of waves off of the shore, okay? Of the coastline, right? Let's say you're surfing, okay? There's a wave and it surmounts, it peaks, and you ride it out and you reach the coast and you paddle back, and right, the same sort of thing keeps taking place over time. And there's a point at which, right, perhaps question, well, right, amidst it all, okay, you're like, wait a second. Like the wave is approaching. Wait a second. Why didn't a wave just approach? Why is there another wave approaching? Why is another wave building? Okay. And there's this sort of questioning process of naturality. Okay, I'm hearing the naturality of function, of time and space. Okay, I'm hearing frequency, the lineage of frequency in time, through time and space, as you, I'm hearing, may have configured it. I'm hearing marked it on the map, okay, on the road map. There's a certain frame of reference that is a point of comparison for you that you may be understanding your reality, a certain reality, your experience in relation to. Okay, almost as like a reflective sort of understanding, a measure, okay, of change.
And Pisces, right? And I'm seeing like it's almost as if right there's another individual, okay, who's looking after you, okay, who's looking over you as well, okay. So for a number of you, this um, is coming through, maybe speaking to matters of I'm hearing community, also spiritual. I'm hearing cognizance. Okay, I'm hearing ley lines for a number of you. There is this sort of point at which perhaps this character, okay, I'm hearing this life force, brings it to your attention, okay, to see yourself and the way that you move through your creative process more clearly. And it's almost as if, right, it's like another, right, it's like you're surfing with your friend, okay, and you're riding the waves with your friend, and then your friend is like, wait a second, why? The wave is coming. Well, got to get on your surfboard. And you're like, no, what? Hold on a second. I need to understand why the wave is building. Why didn't we just experience another wave? And your friend is like, well, and it's like there's something, Pisces, about the process, okay, the paradigm that you have been experiencing growth in, through, and by, and it may be pertaining to matters of time. What time is perceived as? Frames of time. The elongation of energy through measured, I'm hearing spherical value. Okay, so it's almost like containing energy in time may have been a certain I'm hearing aspect ratio to the work that you're doing. And you're recognizing that the paradigm that you've been operating in no longer, okay, applies at all. I'm hearing at all. The wave comes and the wave goes. There's a transformation of, I'm hearing your movement, your acceptance, your change through these lands, to the point at which you realize it's not a matter even of concentrating on the waves. I recognize that my movement and motion, I'm hearing, is happening simultaneously in every dimension. And how I refrain, I'm hearing, how I release my expectation of how I'm moving in the third dimension in relation to time and space and matter, I'm hearing, and format, is my point of release from the process of questioning it, from the need to adhere to it. I'm hearing spherically, okay, in form, in dimension, and I'm hearing in a clear way. So it's like where you've understood something just doesn't make sense. Okay. But it's like not even that it doesn't make sense. It's that it doesn't make sense and it makes sense. You're like, I get it. That doesn't make sense. Not because it doesn't make sense, but because it doesn't make sense. Right? It's like it's that kind of thing, Pisces. It's the Russian doll effect of understanding. Something that is not in a certain way, I'm hearing, understood in a parallel of what it means to understand something in this sphere. I'm hearing of expectation of growth. How I move, yet again, is in a state of transformation. Okay, so when you got a similar energy in your last few readings, Pisces, my goodness, it's like this. You're no longer operating in the paradigm where your growth is measured by lateral, longitudinal movement. Okay, it's like it's not getting from point A to point B. There's no matter. I'm hearing ratio of distance that measures your progress. How you move now is of a completely different nature, and it's confounding. It confounds what is deemed to be, I'm hearing, a status symbol, a measure and a marker of growth and progress, but it brings you so much satisfaction when you move in this way. And it's like, others may look at you and go, why are you spinning your wheels, Pisces? What's going on? Right? It's like, I'm hearing, it's like, I saw you yesterday and you're in the same place at the same time. I'm hearing another maybe telling you for a number of you, but you're and there's this energy between the Chariot and the Wheel of Fortune that's almost there. It's like almost there's an exactness, of order between these two, and it's a question of what comes first, me or how I move. What's more important, how I move or me? Is it neither? Are they one and the same in every moment? Am I forever in a state of movement when I am upholding the state of my being? Your parameters for change, Pisces, are shifting. And yet again, where others may view you from the sidelines, and I'm getting polar opposites, wherever it's like totally different paradigm of thinking, rationalizing, conceptualizing matters of change, right? They may look at you and be like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Okay. You got to move, Pisces, to make your change. You got to make right, and this is what they may be perceiving, as an onlooker. But you recognize, Pisces, I don't want change. I'm not seeking change. I'm seeking me. And when I flow with who I am through what is deemed in this paradigm, okay, of thought, I'm getting, as you may be right, saying to others in a certain way, perhaps even energetically, that's my state of transformation that brings me to the point of accepting what does it for me. What satisfies me? And my state of emotional and your elevation, satisfaction is contrary, okay, to expectations of growth, expectations of change, of transformation, of what it means to transform in the ways that are satisfying. I'm different. And it's to the point where that becomes so very clear to you in the way, not that, that's who I am, that's how I operate. No, but in the way of, yes, that's what it's always been for me. In such a way where I realize just how connected it is, perceptively, conceptually, to how I move forward. It's so very beautiful, and there's this referencing to matters of connection, okay, emotional connection with others, spiritual connection with others as well. And there's this sort of this focus. You have the High Priestess and the Two of Cups. This focus on what connects us all. Okay, and there's this sort of wisdom, and there's this sort of, I'm hearing, higher understanding that confounds the surface value, the surface level, okay, perception of matters of, I'm hearing, change in relationships. And so there is this focus, okay, on desire. There is absolutely this focus on desire, this desire to focus on desire. That's your focus. That yet again, even in such a way that brings you closer to understanding the shape and the form that your desire takes on in the alliance that you hold with yourself. Perpetually, continually. Okay, so as you change, Pisces, I'm getting what you desire changes in a certain way, not because it changes, but because you are fluid in your state of being. And when you are accepting of the variance of how you flow in a certain way, as you may perceive it or feel it, there's the recognition, okay, that what I desire shifts in the way that I'm hearing it resurfaces for me in every dimension. Okay, in varying dimensions. Now you have the Six of Wands, okay, at the base of the reading, overlaying the Eight of Pentacles upright, then Nine of Cups in reverse, 8-9 a sequence. There is, at the very same time, this focus on holding together the network of what this means for us in terms of what we are producing, creating in the third dimension. There's a focus on the practicality, okay, of bringing a certain dream to fruition. And yes, the emotional dimension is of utmost importance. Okay, we recognize that. And participating in even the littlest of ways, okay, in bringing us closer to understanding, accepting, flowing, feeling in every moment what it is that we feel satisfies us deeply. Okay. That is a point of sort of accumulation, okay, to reaching this experience of material satisfaction in a certain way, as you may perceive it or feel it for a number of you. Okay. So it's interesting because Pisces, you have this emphasis on earth, on the pentacles, okay, as well as that on water, okay, intuition, connectedness, right, the emotional resonance and factor that underpins the work that we do. So they're right next to each other, right, in sequence, side by side with the Ace of Cups in the dead center. The focus is on how we feel, yet again, contributes to what we create, and vice versa. Okay, and yet again, this focus being on, as a concept, the framework of feeling that changes, that's fluid, okay, and how you move through this process. I'm hearing gracefully, okay, freely, without expectation, okay, is the point of release of fixed perception, the need for perception, the need for understanding in a logical way what it is that we've been experiencing energetically, that we continue to experience cyclically. Okay, perhaps for a number of you now. Let us pull a few more cards here. Okay, Hermit. I'm hearing breaking out of the box, bringing it out of the box, bringing it out of the box. Okay. Alrighty. I'm hearing how I wear my heart on my sleeve is how I connect to what I connect with. There's a focus here on the development of transparent partnerships and how this transparency of desire, of the desire for a new beginning, feeds, infiltrates our form, our creation of form of matter in the third dimension. Okay, so matters of, yet again, emotionalism coming through for you as it relates to matters of creation. Okay, now you have here at the base of your reading the Daughter of Cups, okay, in reverse, right next to the Three of Pentacles upright, the Five of Swords in reverse, okay, and the Hermit horizontally laid. There has been a perhaps a state of, yet again, I'm hearing preparation, the preparing for, in a almost a philosophical way. What we've understood is a grounding force for us, is a stabilizing unknown. And it's almost as if we desire this unknown. We accept it for what it is. I'm hearing it takes us deeper and deeper and deeper into the understanding, okay, in a transformative way, in an energetic way, in an esoteric way, where we understand we are moving. And yet again, that movement may not be laterally, I'm hearing bilaterally, it may not be, right, on land. It may not be, yet again, right, through time. How we move through the concept and the framework of what we understand is a point of stability, even if it's a question, if we're viewing it, right, logically, in a certain way, in the third dimension. I'm hearing is a point of contention, is a point of conflict, perhaps, okay, in a certain way, when I'm hearing match point, when we try to align our expectation of stability with what we just feel stable with, right? So it's like kind of like, well, I feel stable, I'm hearing, when I'm wearing these certain shoes. They just feel really comfortable. They feel right. I try them on in the store and they feel right. Okay, but then it's like there's this process of, wait a second. So, but wait, these shoes feel comfortable. Do they really feel comfortable, or do I want to wear those other shoes? It's like this. It's like this processing, okay, of yet again what is responsive, what is I'm hearing repetitive. Okay, so this may be something that is like over time. It's like a process of questioning. Now you have the Six of Swords in reverse overlaying this world. Okay, it's all a matter here of perception, Pisces, of vision, of where it is you're moving, not how you're moving. Okay, and there is a processing. Okay, a certain processing of the financial means. What is, yet again, how does what I understand makes me feel stable in a certain way, how does that match up with how I substantiate it in the third dimension, in a material, tangible, financial way, perhaps for a number of you? And there's a creative process to that, there's an emotional process to that, that serves as a sort of release, and there is this sort of processing, okay, that takes place in an intellectual way as well, that requires of you to think through in a certain way this fluid process, this creative process. So it's almost like, okay, well, I'm hearing for a number of, I'm making music, and in that state of making, okay, of creation, of what is to just simply flow, I understand that it's okay, not just about the flow. At a certain point, right, the daughter of Cups is like, well, where exactly am I flowing? This river, right? Where does it lead? Where do I want to dock? Station, I'm hearing. Where do I want to dock? And it's almost as if, right, and I'm envisioning, right, making a certain sort of, I'm hearing collaboration, okay, creating something, and I'm hearing music for a number of you, very strongly, music, right, that being, right, a form of expression, okay, so it may resonate differently for a number of you, but whatever this flowing is, it's almost as if it happens in spurts, in chapters, okay, where there's a sort of timed release, okay, where it's a sort of experiential, I'm hearing learning, where it's a chapter of experience, okay, that has a beginning and has a certain end, and is very clear, okay, I'm hearing clear markers of beginning and end. And it's almost right as if, right, you go into the studio, and this came through, I remember for, I believe it was the early October reading, okay, for Pisces, referencing of a sort of studio space. You go into the studio, okay, and you're like, okay, this is my time to let it flow, to let it all flow. And I'm envisioning a dark studio, no lights on, okay. And I'm hearing Space Mountain, right? It's almost like the Disneyland ride where you're on this roller coaster and it's inside of this complex and it's all dark and there are no lights except for these little stars, okay, that are lit up along the path of this roller coaster. Nonetheless, okay, Pisces, it's as if, right, you go into the studio, you have the certain session, okay, that you have creating whatever it is that you're creating, And then you leave the studio. And there's this very clear distinction between the studio and not the studio space. Okay, I'm hearing the inner studio and the outer housing, okay, encasing of this experience. And I'm getting for a number of you, this may be a matter of dimensions, okay, frequency as well. But when you leave this space, you realize, I'm hearing, I've still got to pay my bills. Okay, I've got to pay my dues. I've got to speak, I'm hearing, with language. So it's almost as if, it is very interesting, this came through almost exactly, this analogy came through exactly for you, Pisces, in, I believe it was the early October reading, okay, of there being a sort of parallel experience, but where the experience that's being had, let's say, behind closed doors, in the studio, in that state of creation, okay, of your heightened awareness, consciousness, is at the same time, okay, taking place. There's communication happening in the studio in a certain way, and communication happening outside of the studio. Perhaps in the studio, no words are exchanged. Okay, outside the studio, you realize, well, here, right, we use language. And so there's this transference of realities, and it's almost right as if it's the junction point, okay, of you're bypassing frequency of transformation of creation, varying states of creation, and how it is you move closer and closer and closer to what binds every state of you. Okay, so thank you so very much, Pisces, for tuning in. Thank you all so very much for your support. I hope that this reading was helpful for you, and I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful November, and I highly recommend you check out your rising, ascendant, or moon sign as well, as oftentimes those may provide you with further insights into your situation. For example, I know that I resonate a lot with my moon sign, which is Sagittarius. Even though I'm Pisces, I resonate as well with my sun, but here and there. I also resonate with my ascendant, okay, as well. So I highly recommend you to check out your other sign placements, or if you've got a very strong placement with a certain archetype in your chart. For example, if you've got a stellium, okay, in a certain sign, then you may want to check that sign out. North Node for matters of career, life path, okay, direction. That's been known to resonate, okay, for certain individuals. Of course, it could be different for everyone, so heed your personal intuition with that. Nonetheless, for matters of relationship, love, even career, finances, as well, Venus may play a role. Okay, so your Venus sign. If you don't know your signs, you can calculate them via the link below in the description box that I provide. And just note, though, that you do need your exact birth time to get your ascendant rising, your accurate ascendant rising. If you don't know your exact time of birth, you can probably get away with your moon sign and compute that, unless you were born on a day where the moon was shifting signs. Okay, so nonetheless, thank you so much again, Pisces, for tuning in, for all of your love and light, your gracious support. Thank you all for those of you who participated in the mid-October reading. I appreciate all of your support. And let's see, any other announcements? I'll be back soon with your mid-November reading. Stay tuned for them. I'll be in touch with details for that in hopefully about a week or so, okay? Nonetheless, thank you so much again for tuning in, Pisces. Have a beautiful early November, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Hi there, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to your early November reading. And I just wanted to update, as the reading for this video was recorded a few days prior to the confirmation of the way the mid-monthly readings would be working. Okay, so the mid-November readings are now currently available to reserve via the link Alchemy and You
also available in the description box below, so you can click on that. If you go directly to the website, there should be a banner up there, and you can click that and reserve that way. Okay. Otherwise, thank you all so very much for your support. I appreciate it so very much. For those of you who perhaps were not tuned in the last month when I addressed this change in the way that the mid-monthly readings would work, this change really allows for me to continue with the mid-monthly readings. Okay, as right, I have the personal services that I offer, but I would like to continue with the general readings, giving them the time and the attention that I do. So your support in this really allows me to continue with that. So thank you so very much, all of you, for your support, your love, your light, your comments, your subscriptions, your shares. I'm so very touched by all of you, and I hope to see you in the November reading soon. All right, bye.